You ever read a book that just punches you in the face with truth? That's Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This dude, he's a Navy SEAL, ultra-marathon runner, and all-around badass. He went from being overweight and depressed to becoming a machine, all by mastering his own mind. This video, we're diving into 10 challenges from his book that'll help you build that unbreakable mindset. Goggins, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. We're gonna break down these challenges, step by step, so you can apply them to your own life. So buckle up, because things are about to get real. Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into challenge 1. Face your bad hand. We all think we've been dealt. Goggins, he grew up in a rough environment, man. Abusive father, poverty, racism, you name it. He faced it all. But here's the thing, he owned that shit. He didn't let it define him, he took control. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in blaming our past, our circumstances, for why we're not where we want to be. But Goggins, he's like, screw that. He says you gotta own your story, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's about taking responsibility for where you are right now and deciding where you want to go. This isn't about dwelling on the negative, man. It's about acknowledging it, accepting it, and then using it as fuel to propel you forward. It's like, imagine you're playing poker. You get dealt a bad hand. Do you just fold and give up? Hell no. You figure out how to play those cards the best you can. You strategize, you adapt, and you push through. And when you do, you might just find that you can turn that bad hand into a winning one. It's all about perspective and resilience. So face your bad hand and play it like a champion. Alright, let's talk into challenge 2 about the accountability mirror. This is where shit gets real, man. Goggins, he's all about brutal honesty, especially with yourself. He says you gotta look in the mirror, no excuses, and confront your weaknesses head on. Think about it. How many times do we lie to ourselves? We make excuses for why we didn't hit the gym, why we ate that whole pizza, why we didn't go after that goal. It's easy to bullshit ourselves, but it's killing our potential. The accountability mirror is about cutting through that crap. It's about standing there, looking yourself dead in the eyes, and being brutally honest about where you're falling short. What are you afraid of? What excuses are you hiding behind? It's about identifying areas where you can improve. This is where Goggins' philosophy really starts to take shape. In challenge 3, get comfortable being uncomfortable, he emphasizes that true growth only happens when you push yourself beyond your perceived limits. He's all about pushing past those comfort zones, embracing the suck, because that's where the growth happens. It's in those moments of discomfort that you find out what you're really made of. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that truly challenged you, that scared you a little? Those moments are rare but incredibly valuable. It's easy to get stuck in a rut, doing the same old things day after day. We often fall into routines that feel safe but don't push us to grow, but that's not how you grow. Growth happens when you break free from the monotony and take on new challenges. Goggins, he's all about pushing those boundaries both physically and mentally. He believes that the mind is the most powerful tool we have. He'll run ultra-marathons with broken bones, do thousands of pull-ups, whatever it takes to test his limits. His dedication is a testament to the power of mental toughness. Now, I'm not saying you gotta go out and run 100 miles tomorrow. That's not realistic for most of us. But you gotta find ways to challenge yourself, to step outside of that comfort zone. It could be something small but significant. It could be trying a new workout, learning a new skill, speaking up at work, or even taking on a project that intimidates you. Anything that makes you a little uneasy. These small steps can lead to big changes over time. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you realize you're capable of. You'll start to see that your potential is far greater than you ever imagined. In challenge 4, the 40% rule. Alright, this one's huge, it's a game changer. Goggins talks about this thing called the 40% rule. It's a concept that can completely shift your perspective on your own limits. Basically, he says that when your mind's telling you you're done, you're actually only 40% tapped out. That's right, 40%. Imagine that. Think about it. How many times have you quit something because you thought you couldn't go any further? How often have you felt like you hit a wall, you hit the wall, you felt that burn, and you gave in? It's a common experience, right? But Goggins, he's saying that's just your mind playing tricks on you. It's a mental barrier, not a physical one. Your body's capable of way more than you think, but your mind gives up way too easily. It's like a safety mechanism. It wants to protect you from discomfort, from pain. It's trying to keep you safe, but in doing so, it holds you back. But that's where the real growth happens, man. Pushing through that discomfort is where you find your true strength. So next time you're feeling that urge to quit, that voice telling you you're done, remember the 40% rule. Remind yourself that you've got more to give. You've got so much more in the tank, more than you ever thought possible. Push past that mental barrier, tap into that reserve, and see what you're truly capable of. You might just surprise yourself. Challenge 5 mainly focuses on callous your mind. This is where things get really interesting. Goggins talks about callousing your mind just like you would callous your hands. See, when you subject your hands to friction, to tough conditions, they build up calluses, right? They become tougher, more resilient. Goggins says you gotta do the same thing with your mind. You gotta expose it to challenges, to discomfort, to those things that make you want to quit. The more you do that, the tougher your mind becomes. Think about it. If you never lift anything heavier than a pillow, your muscles are gonna stay weak, right? Same thing with your mind. If you're always avoiding discomfort, always taking the easy way out, your mind's gonna stay soft. So how do you callous your mind? It's about seeking out challenges, embracing those uncomfortable situations. In Challenge 6, he describes in detail the concept of take souls. Alright, this one might sound a little intense, but stick with me. When Goggins talks about taking souls, he's not talking about anything literal. He's talking about that relentless pursuit of excellence, that drive to outwork and outperform everyone else. See, when you step into the arena, whether it's the gym, the workplace, or just life in general, you're in competition. Not necessarily with other people, but with yourself, with your own limitations. Taking souls is about pushing past those limitations, about refusing to be outworked, out-hustled, or out-prepared. It's about bringing that relentless energy to everything you do. Think about it. When you see someone who's at the top of their game, there's a certain intensity there, right? They're not just going through the motions, they're giving it their all every single time. Alright, this one's all about breaking free from those self-imposed limitations, those mental barriers that are holding you back. Goggins calls it turning the governor off, which he discusses in Challenge 7. Think about it. Our brains are wired for self-preservation, right? So when we start to push ourselves, to step outside of our comfort zones, our brains try to pump the brakes. They send signals of pain, of fatigue, of doubt, all in an effort to keep us safe and comfortable. But Goggins, he's all about overriding those signals. He's saying that we're capable of so much more than we think, but we've got to learn how to silence that inner voice that's telling us to slow down, to play it safe. Turning the governor off is about pushing past those perceived limits, about realizing that our bodies and minds are capable of incredible things when we set our minds to it. This is where discipline comes into play. Goggins is a huge advocate for structure and routine. In Challenge 8, he says that if you want to achieve great things, you can't just wing it. You need a plan. Think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm going to start eating healthy tomorrow, or I'm going to start going to the gym next week. But then tomorrow comes and goes, and next week turns into next month, and you're still stuck in the same old patterns. That's because you didn't have a plan. You didn't schedule it in. Goggins says that if you're serious about making a change, you need to treat it like an appointment with yourself, an appointment that you can't cancel or reschedule. Schedule your workouts, your meal prep, your study time, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Put it in your calendar and stick to it like your life depends on it. Alright, this is where things get a little bit mind-bendy, but trust me on this one. In Challenge 9, Goggins is a huge believer in the power of visualization. He says that if you can see it in your mind's eye, you're one step closer to making it a reality. Think about it. Athletes do this all the time. They visualize themselves winning the race, making the shot, crossing the finish line, and you know what? It works. Because when you visualize something, you're essentially programming your subconscious mind. You're telling it what you want, and your subconscious mind will start working behind the scenes to make it happen. So take some time each day to visualize yourself achieving your goals. See it, feel it, believe it. In Challenge 10, this one is all about surrounding yourself with the right people. Goggins talks about the importance of having an accountability system, a group of people who are going to support you, push you, and hold you accountable to your goals. Think about it. It's easy to slack off when you're the only one who knows what you're working towards. But when you've got people in your corner who are expecting you to show up, who are invested in your success, it's a whole different ballgame. Find a workout buddy, a mentor, a coach, someone who's going to help you stay on track and hold you accountable to your commitments. Share your goals with them, your progress, your struggles. Because here's the thing, we're not meant to do this alone. Look, Goggins' message is simple. Life's gonna throw punches. It's gonna test you, break you down, try to keep you small. But the power lies in how you respond. You can either let those challenges defeat you, or you can use them as fuel to become stronger, more resilient, more unstoppable. You don't have to become a Navy SEAL or run ultramarathons to apply these principles. Start small. Challenge yourself a little bit every day. Build those mental calluses. And remember, you're capable of way more than you think, so get after it.
Oh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications,